there is no worse feeling. There is no worse feeling in life than losing 2 consecutive derbies. And as we say in Italian, mi sono rotto I coglioni, mi sono rotto I coglioni. Because it's just the way we played, which irritates me so much. We played 2 consecutive derbies, lost 2 consecutive derbies, and showed absolutely no spirit in 2 consecutive derbies. What has happened in the mind of these players in the derbies this season? What possibly went wrong? Because it's okay, you can lose a derby, but you cannot lose a derby like this. And it's not even the first time this season. It's the second time that Roma have lost a derby while showing no spirit, no sense of aggression, no sense of fighting spirit, absolutely no will. We have played and lost 2 derbies because we were scared about the ball. We were scared. Oh, we were scared. How do you win? How can you possibly even think about winning a derby if that is the mentality? Because this season, we got them all wrong. Thank God they're over. Thank God they're over, because we got everything possibly wrong in both derbies. Like, at a point where I don't even know which one was worse, the first leg or the second leg. What was the plan today, as Logical is saying in the chat? Why? The question is, why did we step onto that pitch? What was the key? What was the plan? What was the game plan? Oh my days! It's ridiculous. You cannot play a derby like this. In fact, you can play no games like this. But a derby is even more important. A derby is about a city. A derby, you play a derby for your fans. You play a derby for your fucking fans. You can't play like this. It's irritating. And you know what? After 11 years, Lazio win 2 consecutive derbies in one season. This coming week is going to be the most brutally depressing, mentally deprived week a Roma fan could possibly live. But to be fair, let it be. Let it be. Let it flow. Let it flow, because in 10 years' time, this is going to be their only memory. Let it flow. And to be fair, they deserve it. Because the second you play 2 derbies in one season like this, then you really have no intention of winning them. So prepare for a very bad week. Prepare for a brutally social media week. Because Lazio fans are going to dig this up our ass, up our rectum, up our colon, and it's going to tickle our heart. They're going to go up, directly up, and it's going to go like that. And they deserve it, because we can't play derbies like this. And I almost lost my voice. To be fair. Ibanez. Why is Ibanez still playing derbies? I don't get this. Part of me actually believes that Ibanez is a Lazio fan. Because it's 3 derbies now that we lose because of Ibanez. And don't you dare say Lazio would have won this without Ibanez. Because the only reason why Lazio won this is because Ibanez gifted the red card. Because if it wasn't for that red card, this game ended 0-0. It had 0-0 written all over it. Because apart from that goal, don't you tell me Lazio played well. We played even worse, but this was one of the most boring games of the season. So, you know what? Ibanez is going to miss the Sampdoria game. Shut the fuck up, the Hornet. Oh my days. Holy cow, I'm literally going to throw this lamp in front of the window. You see, that's what happens if you lose a derby in Rome. All of that, all night, all week. Shut up. Please shut up. Thank God. Fucking hell, shut up. So, what I'm trying to say is, I am glad Ibanez got a red card for Sampdoria. Because the second a player loses you yet another derby, you put him out of the team. No matter how good Ibanez has been prior to these two derbies, Ibanez, after making us lose these two derbies in one season, Ibanez now needs to get picked from the team, placed on the bench for at least 2 games. At least 2 games. And I don't want to hear any excuses. But we need Ibanez. No. Ibanez lost us the 2 derbies this season. Ibanez now needs he needs detention. He can't play on that swing. He can't. Because you can't. Ibanez, I swear to God, is a Lazio fan. Now, don't get me wrong, as much as we have to blame Ibanez, you have to blame the referee. You have to blame the referee. Because I'm the first one to say we lost this game, and we deserve to lose this game. Because the first thing you have to see in a derby is the spirit. You can play good football, but at the end of the day, the result is the only thing which counts in a derby. So congratulations to Lazio. They won 2 derbies. This is going to be their only memory for the next 10 years. Congratulations to them. But holy cow, you cannot give a yellow card after 7 minutes in a derby. You cannot. A derby is an aggressive game. A derby is a game between 2 teams which hate each other. A derby is a game between the 2 biggest rivals. A derby is a physical game. And you cannot give a yellow card after 5 minutes. Because if you give a yellow card after 5 minutes in a derby, then the referee is 100% showing me that he does not know what a derby means. Because you cannot give a yellow card after 5 minutes in a derby. You just can't do that. You can't give a yellow card after 5 minutes in a derby. Regarding of it being a foul or not being a foul, you can't give a yellow card in a derby after 5 minutes. So, I am going to blame the referee. And, call me delusional, because in these performances, blaming referees is delusional. Because a derby, you have to play a derby. You have to play a derby. But you have to show spirit to the derby. So call me delusional by blaming the referee. But I am going to blame the referee. Because you cannot possibly give a yellow card in a derby after 5 minutes. You possibly can't. And apparently, Cristante got a red card at the end, right? He's going to miss the Sampdoria game. Mancini's going to miss the Sampdoria game. Ibanez is going to miss the Sampdoria game. Thank God we have a break now. Now, what's my biggest fear right now is something which I did discuss in the match preview. Losing a derby is bad. Losing a derby, and especially playing a derby like this, because at the end of the day, I'm gonna say this again, you can lose derbies. I'm not trying to say Roma can't lose derbies. But one thing is you lose a derby, and one thing is you lose a derby in sleep, and you just show no spirit for 90 minutes. That's something which I really can't digest. That's something which I can't digest. It's a fucking derby. Can you wake up? So, what I'm trying to say is, my big fear now is that we get pushed back into the black hole. That's my big fear. And I am very happy that now we have a break. Because if we would have played a game next weekend after losing a derby, we would have lost. Regarding of it being Sampdoria who's fighting to not get relegated. We would have lost. 100%. The team has now placed themselves in a position where they are going to be mocked. Where they are going to be targeted. Because the last time Lazio won 2 consecutive derbies was 11 years ago, ladies and gentlemen. Like, just to put you into perspective, I was 6 years old. That ain't right. It's bad. It hurts your morale. Because the fans are not going to be happy. And they can't be happy. So, my big fear now is that this performance pushes herself back yet again in a black hole. But on the other hand, I always try to be positive. We have a break now. Players are going to go to the Italian national team. And, players are going to consume energies because, these aren't friendly games. These are European qualifiers. And to be fair, Italy is going to focus a lot on these qualifiers, seeing the fact that they missed out on the World Cup. So, this break is not going to be right. I'm going to sit on the sofa and just go that for a week, because it's not going to be that. Over the course of this week, players are going to play football. Players are going to consume more energies. But we need this break. Because otherwise the situation is not going to be great. Now, I think, you remember, I think you go back to the match preview of Cremonese, which was the last game before March. And I said March was going to be the most important month of the season. And it truly is. March is now over. We're not going to play any more games in March. And you look at March and you give a balance about March. I'll be honest with you. I expected it to be worse, but it could have gone better. We won against Juventus, and that boosted us a lot. We got into the next round of Europa League, we boosted it a lot. But then, you have two performances. Sassuolo you lost, and Lazio you lost. If we would have won last weekend against Sassuolo, this reaction to the derby would have still been salty, because you would have still lost against your biggest rivals, but it would have been more justifiable. We are coming from 2 losses in the Serie A. Overall, I think March was a pretty mediocre month. Under the terms of Europa League, it was a good month. Under the Serie A, it was a mediocre month. Now we have April. And we are getting into April, where we basically have to kind of think about the same thing we did in March. That April is going to be the most important month. We've got Europa League in April. We've got less crucial games in April. That means that I want to see, I'm not saying all wins, because it's not going to happen with such an inconsistent team, but I expect at least 75% of wins in April. Now, any people asking top 4 questions, I am not going to answer top 4 questions. One, because today's not about top 4. Today's about losing pride. Today's about losing against your biggest rivals. So, to be fair, you could look at that top 4 and go, I don't care. I care about the performance the lads showed me. And the second reason why I'm not going to focus on top 4 questions today is because this performance does not change my opinion. I'm going to say this again and again and again. We could have lost 7-0 today. I would have said the same thing. We could have won 2-0 against Sassuolo. I would have said the same thing. We could have lost 7-0 against Sassuolo, and I would have said the same thing. We could have gotten thrown out of Europa League, and I would have said the same thing. I believe in top 4, and so should everyone here. Everyone here has to believe in top 4. The players have to believe in top 4. Because until that last game week of the season, we are in a top 4 race. Regarding of whether we're playing good football, we lost to the derby, we're playing shit football, and even if we wouldn't have lost the derby today, as things stand, every single weekend, the top 4 race changes. Every single weekend. 3 weekends ago, I would have said Napoli and Atalanta are 100% confirmed in top 4. 2 weeks ago, I would have said Napoli and Milan are 100% top 4. This week, I'm going to change it again. And I'm going to say Napoli and Lazio are 100% confirmed in top 4. One, because Lazio won every single big game of the season. And second, because Lazio don't have a European trophy again. Inter, Milan, all do. And we do too. So, I don't think losing today, as much as it does weigh a lot, 100%, it does weigh a lot. We would have won today. I would have been way more confident about top 4. But losing today does not make me go, we're not going to get top 4. Because I actually think anyone who thinks that losing today 110% cuts her chances of top four. I think that is being, I don't want to say it being a delusional fan, but being a fan which doesn't believe in your team. We played shit today. We lost the derby today, but that doesn't make me not believe in top four. I believe in top four. And, my statement on top four is going to be the same until the very last game week. Until that game week, we're in a top four race. Lazio can slip. Look at Milan. Milan lost against Udinese too. Juventus are apparently winning tonight against Inter too. It's a race which changes week in and week out. So to say after a performance, no, top four is done, could be correct, because at the end of the season, you may be right. I'm not saying you're 100% wrong, but I think these judgments have to be made at the end of the season. So, look, another thing today, again, I don't know why apparently they disallowed her goal because of offside. I didn't see it really well. But the big drawback today, I think, the big drawbacks are two. I think the big drawbacks today, one is the spirit. The inconsistency in the spirit of this team. We are so inconsistent on every single aspect. We're inconsistent when it comes to playing. We're inconsistent when it comes to results. We're inconsistent when it comes to attitude and spirit. Because you were coming from a great attitude performance against Juventus. And then today you looked dead. You looked dead. And you see, I don't care if people say, oh well, we played well, we showed fighting spirit because we were playing in 10. No, that's not a good valid option. That's not a valid answer. Playing well means having chances. Playing well means attacking. Playing well means shooting. Apart from that disallowed goal, I can't remember one shot we had today. We did not play well. And I'm saying this as a Roma fan. I'm not trying to throw shit on the team. I'm trying to be realistic. No one here can say we played well today. Because we didn't play well today. But I just think the other drawback is that we're living in a moment where it would be easier for us to play without strikers. We really, it would, right now, what is it today? The 19th of March, it would be easier for Roma to play without a striker. Because the strikers are not playing well. Both of them, both Belotti and Tammy Abraham. Now, Belotti today, don't get me wrong, he started the game. He didn't win one aerial duel against Romagnoli. He didn't win one aerial duel against Romagnoli. How are we supposed to score if our striker doesn't win one duel? And then Abraham too. I'm Abraham's biggest fan, you know me. But Abraham today got subbed in and he was walking. He was walking. Someone please explain to these players what a derby means. A derby is the performance we played last season and we won 3-0. We lack the definition of a derby this season. Because we played two of them and we looked deader today than the first one. I mean, it could be argued we looked dead today than the first one, or we played better in the first one. They were two shit. They were two shit derbies. Both boring derbies, but Lazio won all of them. And that, at the end of the day, that's what counts. So they have to celebrate. Congratulations to them, because we played as if it wasn't a derby. But look, I'm not gonna sit here and cry. I'm not gonna sit here and cry, because that's not who I am. I'm gonna sit here and be salty. I'm gonna sit here and be gutted. I'm gonna sit here and be pissed. I am, because we just lost against our biggest rivals. I think if no one is pissed today, then you're not a real fan. It's bad. It's bad losing a derby. We have to go through a lot of pain this week. At school tomorrow, they're gonna just tease me from the first hour to the second hour. That's what losing a derby means. But at the end of the day, we chose to lose two derbies. We chose it because We could have played better in both derbies, but we didn't. We were scared. We weren't aggressive. We didn't have the will. So we chose to lose both derbies. Ibanez chose to lose both derbies. So I'm not going to be here and cry. I'm not going to be here and complain. Because both derbies are over. We can't do anything about it. We faced Lazio this season. 2023 is done. Derbies are done this season. On to the next ones. I'm gutted that I wasn't able to film and publish any derby vlog this season, because I'm pretty sure no one here would watch it. And I really don't want to edit such a vlog. This is a Roma channel. We're happy when Roma wins and we're sad when Roma loses. This is a process. The beauty of a community is that we move through this together. But, criticisms have to be held. But we have to move on. Do I think top 4 race is over? Absolutely not. Do I think Europa League race is over? Europa League, our campaign in Europa League is over? Absolutely not. We've got a big chance. The season is still open. This game doesn't change the circumstances and the dynamics of the season. This game just makes us sad and gutted because our biggest rivals won. So I'm not going to drag it any further. I'm going to end the stream. It's going to be a painful week. We've got an international break to enjoy. Italy against England on Thursday, I believe. But look, we move. We move. And it's not like we move. We have to move. We move. So ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, everyone in the stream. Before leaving the stream, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. Turn the bell notification button so you'll be notified every time I go live or publish a video. We go through this together. Yeah, you see, I respect Marko Galovic, but I really disagree with his last comment. Top 4 is not over and Europa League is not done. Because I bet you this comment has been thrown at me just because we lost against our biggest rivals 1 hour ago. Trust me, if after the international break I ask Marko Galovic, are we getting top 4? Do you still believe in top 4? He's going to say yes. But the problem is, we just lost the most important game of the season because the derby is a derby. So everyone here is gutted and everyone here is negative. It's a counter effect. It's a counter effect. It really is. You lose a derby, you're pissed, and you're forced to write negative comments. Next weekend, when we all digest this, when we all reflect on our mistakes, it's going to be completely different. I bet you in the match preview of the Sampdoria game, not next weekend, but the one after, everyone is going to be positive back again. Because that's how football works. That's how supporting a team works. You feel negative the second you lose a game. But then you digest everything, you process everything, and 2 weeks later, you're going to be back positive. That's how it works. But I'm going to catch you soon. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. It's sad. I'm gutted, I'm disappointed, but we have to move on. Forza Roma sempre. Simon, out.